Okay guys, somebody asked me about maybe writing out a few equations for you. So I picked out several different examples. Let's start with this one. Identify the reactants and products in each chemical reaction. So hydrogen gas and sodium hydroxide are formed. So that's where my arrow is. But they're saying these are formed, so I would have my hydrogen gas here and sodium hydroxide here when sodium is dropped into water. Water should always be a pure liquid, and sodium would be a solid because that's a metal. In photosynthesis, carbon dioxide and water react. So that's telling me that CO2 reacts with water to form oxygen gas and glucose, which is C6, I believe, H12O6, or it might be C12H22O. 12, one of those. And if it's not asking for a formula, you are free to just write out glucose. And so glucose and oxygen are my products, CO2 and water are my reactants. Another thing you might want a little review on would be something like these problems. These are a little smaller, my apologies. These come from your end of chapter book questions in your book, so 38, 39 through 44. I'm not going to go through all these, I'm going to go through a few. Write and balance the chemical reaction for the following combination reactions. When they're telling me it's combination or synthesis, I need to make a compound out of those two. So for that, my product is going to be, I'll have magnesium, which again, you're going to have to write out what those charges are. And oxide, since they're the same, that product would be just MgO. How about for phosphorus and oxygen, giving me, and they told me what it's going to be so I know what subscripts to write. And so diphosphorus, we should recall, is P2, pentaoxide is O5. Calcium and sulfide. Again, we have to look at what the ions are. So calcium is 2+, sulfide is 2-, so I need 1 to 1. So this product would be CAS. Now they're telling me this is decomposition reaction. Since there's only 2 elements, it must be going to its element from this compound. So Ag plus O2. And you have to remember that oxygen is one of our 7 diatomic elements. Ammonium nitrate is decomposing into dinitrogen monoxide, so that would be N2O plus water. And then for ammonium nitrate, it's NH4 with a +1 and NO3 with a -1, so I would just need one of each. So these are single replacement reactions, and they're telling you to use the activity series. I'm not going to require you to use the activity series. So we're just going to assume that these reactions take place, even though most of them don't. In fact, this one would not take place, but I'm going to write out the products just like it would. Well, actually not, because you don't know what charges gold makes, so this would be no reaction. Zinc and nitrate. Zinc is +2, so I'd be ZnNO3. I need 2 of those plus Ag. And if they wanted you to balance it, then you would have to put a 2 here, and you would put a 2 here. And that should balance it. So here we have aluminum, and I'm going to skip this one. It's outside the scope of what we're going to learn. So write a balance equation for each of the following double replacement reactions. So this is an acid-base reaction. This is oxalic acid. And so you're going to get water. That's going to be a combination of that OH and those 2 H's. And then you're going to get K. Oxalate is a -2. Potassium's a +1. So I'm going to need 2 of those with C2O4. And then I'm going to have to balance this, and I would need a 2 here, and I would need a 2 here. Hopefully this is helping you if you're writing a combustion reaction. When it says complete, you know you're going to get CO2 plus H2O. You get the same two products here. It's just now a little bit more difficult to balance because we have oxygen. We need that as a reactant in both of these cases. And so if I were to do, let me balance out B. And B would be C3H6O plus O2 yields CO2 plus H2O. So I'm gonna go ahead and multiply this by 2. And so that would give me 6 here. And so for carbons, I have 6 on each side. So now for hydrogens, I have 12 here. And I have just 2 here, so I'm going to need to multiply that by 6. That would give me 12 here. And now for oxygens, I have 6 here plus 12 here is going to equal 18. So I have 2 here. So I need 16 here, so this would be 8. So it's a little bit more difficult. You just have to remember on this side you're going to have oxygen in 2 locations. So hopefully this is helpful for you. Let me know if you need any other videos. You can drop me a line through email or any way you feel like you can get in touch with me. Thanks.